The Monte Cristo Homestead is located in New South Wales, Australia. At first glance, this house appears to be a symbol of success, good fortune, and happiness. However, looks can be deceiving, as this homestead has the reputation of being Australia's most haunted house. Okay, let's go. Shush, booby. If you're someone like me, you first thought Monte Carlo, but no, the Monte Cristo Homestead is located in the town of Junee, New South Wales, Australia. Junee. Did you think of Monte Carlos as well?
Well, no, I thought of the Count of Monte Cristo.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was like, is it? But that's a film.
Yeah.
Like from the 90s.
From the
Is
90s. I got no idea, girl. You're telling the story.
Well, I'm making it up as I go.
just here for the ride.
It's fantasy.
So Junee is just northeast of Wagga. This medium-sized town was established in the late 1800s.
Oh, bitch. So we're both in the 1800s this time.
Yeah, except I guess mine goes to current, but still.
Wagga.
Christopher William Crawley was born in Sydney in 1841 to parents William and Jane Crawley.
William.
Christopher would grow up in the inner city suburb of Balmain, where he developed a love of farming.
Balmain sounds like such a poncy area. Where are you from? Balmain.
I'm from Balmain.
Don't you think?
Yeah, it does.
Mm.
Yeah. I was like, you'd know where that is, wouldn't you, Balmain?
No.
Oh, okay, I'll carry on.
I've never been to Melbourne. Never been.
Oh, that's fine. By 1860, at the age of 19, William married Elizabeth Carr, a woman from the Wiradjuri tribe. And I would have said that completely wrong, and I am very, very sorry. I tried to pronunciate it properly.
Wiradjuri.
Yeah, Wiradjuri. There is mention that in order to be accepted into society, she had to pretend to be white, just to be accepted, because we know how shit white people are, and it was the 1800s.
Yeah, they wouldn't have been considered people at that time.
The couple later moved to Junee, where it was said Christopher purchased 2 parcels of land to build their family home. Now, I tried to find out what a parcel was size-wise compared to an acre, and Jesus, take the wheel. How about you comment and school me in what a parcel of land is? Thank you.
But also, is a parcel of land a specific... I don't think a parcel of land is a measurement of land. I think maybe... Like, I'm also talking out my bum here. I don't know.
I do not know, and I tried to know.
Yeah, right.
And Lord forbade me. He forbidded it.
He said 9.
The couple would struggle for a number of years to make ends meet. It was said they lived in a small slab hut with his growing family.
What is the slab hut?
A little slab.
Ask Andy. He makes a
Old
slab.
slab. The Crawleys would go on to have 7 children.
7?
Suburban.
In a hut?
In a little slab hut. Now, Christopher's fortune would change in 1878 when the Great Southern Railway line opened, which led to plenty of travellers and people trading agricultural products to the town.
I'm so proud of you for saying that word.
Yeah, look at me. Agricultural. Doesn't sound right. I can't say it
And that
three
sounded
times.
like pessimistic, but I wasn't. I'm actually genuinely like...
I'm happy for you.
There's a lot of moving parts of that word. Good on you, girl.
No, I didn't want to go. Look at me go. Christopher, I can't say Christopher.
Okay, and you just ruined everything.
Just ruined it all. Christopher saw this as an opportunity and purchased a license to build the Railway Hotel, which would be located opposite the railway station. If you didn't know, now you know. This would make Christopher one of the town's wealthiest residents. He also had a reputation for being a generous man and well loved throughout the town.
Oh, he's a generous lover.
Of course, over time, as his wealth and status grew, he needed a new home to reflect his success. I need a big house. The family had outgrown the small brick cottage they were living in. The original slab hut was demolished and turned into a big stable for Christopher's prized horses. So the small cottage that they were now in would eventually become the servants' quarters, as a new 2-storey house built in the late Victorian style, which was also on a hill overlooking the town. So they built the house.
That would have been nice, but also like...
Yeah.
You're a bit of a show-off. You're lording it over people.
Right.
But like you do you, boo.
You do you. The property was built of sandstock bricks that were fired on site and laid on dry stone foundation. I'm sure that means something to someone. But in other words, this house was sturdy as...
She's a sturdy girl.
She's a sturdy girl.
Yeah, because that means nothing to me either, actually. I'm right there with you.
I was like, that sounds sturdy.
Yeah.
The downstairs walls were 18 inches thick, and the upper walls are 9 inches thick and made of solid brick.
Just a cheeky 9-inch brick.
Oh, and then 18 inches thick.
No, that's too big.
That's too big.
But also, no, girl, 9 inches long, 18 inches thick. That's a chode and a half. That's revolting.
That's gross. Chode and a half. Thank you. The ceilings are 12 feet high with cypress pine construction upstairs and plaster and lath downstairs. Not a single crack has appeared in the structure.
To this day.
Yeah, because she's a sturdy girl.
She's a sturdy girl.
She's a sturdy girl.
No one wants a crack in their lath.
We don't want a crack in the lath. Lathin' crackin'.
Lath and cracking.
Crackin' lathin'. Back in the day, this homestead was remembered as one of the region's social centres. Balls were held, and it was lots of balls were held.
Balls? She said balls, guys.
I said balls. Balls were held, and it was almost a bit of a country club, you could say, as tennis and golf was also played on the property.
What is lath?
I don't know.
Okay, cool story.
Yeah.
Good chat.
Good chat. So the 7 children of the Crawley children were 4 girls, being Helen Ann, also known as Lillian, Lydia Blanche, Florence Agnes, and Angela Christina, or Pidge, or Pidgey.
They had a real taste for ugly names combined, didn't
Yeah.
they? Those are not... I'm sorry if those are your names, listeners, but like...
Lydia Blanche.
Lydia... All of
Florence
those...
Agnes.
Like, alone, I don't mind the names. I don't have a problem with Blanche or with Florence or with Agnes, but when you mix the two together, it's too much.
Too much. The girls were, well, the children in general were pretty well looked after. The girls were taught music and painting and went to a good school. One of the daughters would end up composing a song for a ball at Government House as well.
Ew.
So they're a bit talented.
With ugly names.
Yeah. The sons, which were Mervyn Marmaduke, Aubrey Clarence, and Alphonse Hillary, went to private schools, as one can only assume that's what they would be, in Sydney and Goulburn. What's wrong?
I hate their names equally.
Yeah, they're all not a good time. Mervyn would go on to be nicknamed the Pioneer of Queensland. Aubrey played the violin and became a doctor, and Alphonse was noted as the finest pianist in the already talented family. He became a solicitor and broke the Australian record for practicing for 62 years. Just retire, but also awesome job. Good job.
Good job.
Mrs. Crawley was described as being like Queen Victoria in that she usually wore a black lace dress and a lace cap with a beaded collar. Apparently she was rather harsh as well, being known to rule with an iron rod.
Oh.
Not a stick.
Or a fist.
Or a fist, a rod.
She's got a rock hard rod.
Oh, shit, she did. Although the family seemed amazing, it is questioned about the harsh mistreatment of their employees.
Yeah.
There's some question on that, you know. On the 14th of December 1910, at the age of 69, Christopher Crawley passed away from heart failure, secondary to blood poisoning caused by a carbuncle, or a cluster of boils on his neck that became infected due to it rubbing up against a starched collar. I was like, what is a carbuncle?
Yeah.
It's a cluster of boils.
Yeah, it's like really bad, yucky pimples.
Yeah. Ugh. After his passing, it is said that Mrs. Crawley only left the house on 2 occasions after Christopher's passing. In the 23 years before she passed at the age of 92 on the 12th of August 1933. So for 23 years, she did not really leave the house.
I mean, look, girl, if I was in a financial situation where I didn't have to either, I'd probably do the same.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that's not true because there's no water. If I lived like on a lake or right near the beach, I'd leave my house but only to go to the backyard.
Yeah, just to go chill out in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Towards the end, she'd actually made an upstairs storage room into a chapel and immersed herself into the Bible, or the Bible. The home remained in the Crawley family until 1948, when the last member vacated. No one lived in the home for more than a decade until the Ryan family purchased the property. Of course, by this time, all the furnishings of the home had been auctioned off, and unfortunately the once outstanding home was now faded with neglect and vandalism.
Of course, I mean, it's Australia. It doesn't matter what year it is.
What year?
We're going to mess stuff up because that's what it does.
In 1963, Olive and Reginald purchased the Monte Cristo Homestead and began restoring it to its former glory.
Mm-hmm.
They even went as far as sourcing original furnishings and fixtures to recreate the original vibe to the house.
I don't know if I could live in like a period piece. I don't know if I could do that.
I don't think I could. It's one thing to have the house, but yeah.
Well, I was watching something on YouTube last night, but like this dude bought massive house. I'm pretty sure that it's referred to as a castle, and he's been doing renovations to get it back to what it would have looked like back in the day. Like, I think that castle's been around since 1400s. And it's like a Heritage 1A graded property, so he has to be careful about the things that he does with it. But that mother must have some money. And he's old, but not too old. I would go there.
You need a project. Here I am. Just saying.
Just saying.
Now, the Ryan family was also a well-known family in the Wagga region, with Reginald being born on January 18th, 1934, the youngest of 3 sons to his parents Stanley and Florence Ryan. Another Florence. The Ryan family actually saved the property from being bulldozed, and I must say you can see the pics online of the state the house was in, and it's kind of sad. Like, you might be thinking, oh, it's just a house, but the history of that house, it's just to see it in ruin, it's a bit sad. After working numerous jobs and paying off loans, the Ryans would go on to gain international recognition for restoring the homestead, and it was actually kept as a showroom for numerous years, and the showroom also included a creepy doll museum. I'm sorry, but old dolls are creepy.
Old dolls, new dolls, big dolls, small dolls, red dolls, blue dolls. I don't like dolls. They are freaky as hell.
Freaking creepy. In 1986, the Ryans stopped dealing with antiques, so they opened the Monte Cristo as a local museum with family members working as tour guides.
It's kind of cute.
Yeah. The Ryans had 5 children, with one of the sons being Lawrence, stayed back to kind of look after the Monte Cristo and started running ghost tours and stuff. He dedicated his life to sharing this house with the world as his father had dreamed of. So, let's jump into why we all came here to listen to some ghost stories.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's all just been like nice stories about the house, and then it's a little defunct, and tell us what happened, Estelle.
Okay, so firstly...
Yes?
So firstly, when the Ryans moved in, they noticed some strange things started happening. The first being their cat and dog would not and did not want to enter the house.
Well, that's because the foreigners are eating the cats, man, and they're eating the dogs.
And the pets of
they're
these
eating
people.
the pets.
Mm-hmm. I mean, animals know if they ain't going in, don't you go in. They actually even ran away from the house, which is what I would be doing too. If your pets aren't going in, there's a reason, okay?
Yep.
Listen to the pets.
Yep.
On another occasion, the family went out for the evening, and upon returning home, they noticed all the lights were on in the house. And Olive was like, what the f***, Ryan? You're leaving the lights on in the house? We've gone out to dinner? But no, that didn't happen. But when they approached the house, all the lights were off when they opened the front door. So they've driven up to the house and it's like, oh, all the lights are on. That's a bit weird.
And then by the time they get to the actual door, the lights are off.
Yeah.
That's a bit creepy.
Yeah, no, thank you. Now, this haunted property is said to have around 10 ghosts that kind of stop in to do a bit of haunting.
Specifically 10.
Around 10.
I would love to... Okay. We know I believe in spookies.
Yeah.
But when they give a specific number to like different ones...
Yeah.
That's where I go, like, I'm sure there'd be more than, like, if there could be 1, there could be 100, right?
Yeah.
But they know for specific that it's 10. There's 10 different ones.
Yeah, so it's around 10. So they didn't give, like, a full exact, but it was just kind of
but
like...
how do they know?
about 10. Yeah. Exactly. So today's story is definitely a bit of, is this true? Is this not true? Do we?
But I say this about all of them. When they're like, this is Emily, it's like, how do you know this is Emily?
How do you know?
How do you know it's not Baal or Balthazar, my guy?
Or
But
Baz.
it's Emily.
Or Bazza. Or Baz. No, you are right. You're definitely right.
Is it like Emily just loves slamming the doors? She's the one that slams the doors.
She used to slam the doors.
She slams the doors. Whereas like Mike, he will throw a teaspoon and only a teaspoon. But why can't Emily throw a teaspoon and slam a door?
Because she's got one job.
And that's to slam doors?
Just one job.
Fair enough.
One job.
I didn't think about that.
You didn't. And, you know,
bad.
that's okay.
We're all flawed, I guess.
We're not perfect.
No.
Now, a bit of a warning to animal cruelty. But
Oh,
I won't.
skip.
Yeah, I won't do it for too long. So it is said that
Fast forward.
Huh?
Fast forward. Skip.
Not going
I'm
to be.
swiping. It's TikTok. I'm swiping.
Why does it keep going back to the same thing? Do you like this video? No. Report it for
Leave me
spam.
alone. Yeah.
So it is said that the previous owners, which you can only assume are the Crawleys or maybe just Chris, hated animals. So this would kind of make sense as to why the cat and the dog were like, F that. Because some strange and cruel things happened. And one night being the Ryans came home to find all their chickens had been strangled. Their parrot was also strangled, and a litter of kittens they had in the breakfast room were also brutally killed.
Come on, man.
Not the kittens.
No, not any of them.
I know. That'd be so horrific. So leave now is what I would be doing.
Yeah.
I would have done that.
In fact, that's what I will do right this second. Goodbye.
And I'm done. Christopher and Elizabeth are said to haunt the rooms that they passed away in. Elizabeth is said to be a bit judgy to anyone who comes in, and if she doesn't like you, she will try to scare you. Some people said that they felt ice cold air fall on their skin. So Christopher had this nice reputation, except when it came to animals, obviously. But one rumour that was milling around the mill was that Christopher actually got two of his maids pregnant.
Shock, horror.
Yeah. One of the women committed suicide by jumping to her death from the balcony whilst she was pregnant. At first I was like, how? From the second story, but apparently she hit the stairs and was instantly killed. It is said her ghost haunts the veranda.
Well, there's always a veranda ghost or like a stairwell ghost. But to be fair, honestly though, you don't have to jump that far. If you aim to like land on your head and stuff, like you could snap your neck, you could, like it wouldn't be too hard.
No, thank you.
I'm not suggesting that anyone try that.
Do not do that. Now, the second maid actually gave birth to a son she named Harold, but unfortunately Harold was hit by a coach at a young age, and although he survived, he would sustain so much head trauma that it disabled him.
Oh, poor Harold.
They would end up locking the boy up in the coach room, and he was kept in chains because, hello, 1800s.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I don't like this story.
Yeah. Do you think it's haunted, Dal?
It would have every right to be haunted.
There's a lot of stuff. Local children were said to have mocked little Harold due to him screaming all day.
Why would you mock that?
Yeah, they called him a monster and would just annoy him. Poor Harold was eventually sent to an asylum after authorities found him chained to his mother's bed. The mother had actually passed away and had been gone for a little while.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Harold later passed away in the asylum, but it is said you can hear him in the homestead when the sound of chains can be heard. So apparently you can hear the rattling of chains and stuff like that in the
Look, that's
so
so cliche, though.
I know.
I'm sounding like such a skeppy, but
You're fine, Dal. You're
I'm just
fine.
like disembodied voices, lady of the veranda, chains. Now I get why they've come up with like 10 different like sort of spirity sort of. That makes more sense now.
Yeah, because there's a few deaths going on. Another haunted spot in the house is the coach house. A young stable boy by the name of Morris was sick in bed one day. His master thought he was just having a sleep in, so he decided to teach him a lesson by setting his straw mattress on fire. Because that was a good idea, Morris was so sick that he couldn't get up and he died in his bed. Today people can still hear his screams, it is said.
If you want to sleep,
Yeah.
I'll give you sleep forever, eternal. What happened to him? Did he get arrested?
I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I guess if it's stable hands and stuff, it's kind of could just go down to an accident, I guess. Another death that happened in the house was that of Crawley's baby granddaughter, who died in 1970 due to the nursemaid dropping her on the stairs.
Oh, more stairs.
Yeah. The maid said she was pushed by an unseen force, but of course, no one believed her.
Mm-hmm.
It is said that a lot of children enter the property around this area and they become irritable and upset, but also old house and kids. Anyway, some guests say they feel as if they're being pushed on their backs when they go near the stair as well. Near the stair? Near the stairs.
The single stair. It's a step.
Just the one stair. Another name that is associated with this house is Jack Simpson. He was one of the home caretakers, and at some point he was shot to death in 1960 on the porch. Apparently the man that shot him had watched the movie Psycho before committing the crime, and the words "Die Jack, haha" were carved into the shed door.
Australians, you do things different here.
Yeah.
I've got to tell ya.
If you like a movie, just don't go kill people.
But also, like, that's a lot of deaths in such a short time in that one location.
Mm-hmm.
Like, shut it down, Brenda.
Shut it down. Guests today have been said to see the lights turning on and off, feeling nauseous, and having an overwhelming sense of sadness, to the point that some people have even fainted in the house.
If you ask me, that's just depression.
Yeah.
But
that's just a normal day.
Yeah.
There are whispers heard throughout the house, and orbs can be seen, and some poltergeist activity are said to happen as well.
No thanks.
No thank you. The Monte Cristo Homestead has been featured on numerous paranormal TV shows, and you can actually visit the property on Friday to Monday, and every Saturday they run a ghost tour that starts after 6 p.m. You can even spend the night there too, which I don't think I would stay, but I would do a tour. We should definitely do a most haunted tour with Wine Time Mysteries.
We should.
We should, but we shouldn't, but we should.
We also need to do Kapunda.
Yeah. Kapunda Hotel.
I got it right, it was Kapunda.
Yeah.
I was going to say Kapunda, but
Kapunda.
I made that mistake a couple times on the episode.
That's all right, Dal, that's all right. So this little bit of information I wanted to leave to the end, because I didn't kind of want to ruin the store. Didn't William Billion Trillion ruin.
With the thing to the end.
I didn't want to ruin this story, but some people say that the Ryans may have turned the house into act of sorts and have just beefed up the info around the property, because Reginald was known for being a stunt man, and so he was kind of around showbiz a lot.
And it was always pulling stunts, so he could have faked some of that stuff.
So there is a bit of a, is this true, is this not true? Like, because when you do a bit of a deep dive on this place, all the stories are the same. There's a couple of like separate stories on Reddit where people are like, oh, I've been here, this happened to me. But it's also kind of just one family. I could find the names of the people that had passed away, well, most of them.
Do you think too, though, that sometimes it might be like wishful thinking? Like if you're a paranormal head and you want to go somewhere because you want to see a ghost or you want to have an experience or whatever, you can kind of trick yourself. I'm not saying this for everything, but you might be able to trick yourself into it, having some type of experience. Maybe the wind blows a certain way, it rattles a window, and then all of a sudden, like, a spirit moved a window and you saw that yourself, and you believe that that's like the case. You believe what you saw, but it might not have been paranormal.
Might not have been. So I would love to hear what you, dear Mung Beans, think. Is the Monte Cristo Homestead haunted or not?
Dun dun dun.
But yeah, that was today's episode, and I think we definitely need to go on a ghost tour, my doll.
I agree. I'm there.
Yeah.
We're just going to cover ourselves in white light, girl, because nothing is coming home with me. I'm not bringing anything home with me.
No, we wouldn't even do that. No way. And on that note...
Goodbye.
Goodbye. At first glance, Christopher would grow up in the innies.
In the innies. In the
Talking about so many vaginas. I'm like,
the
innie,
innies,
outie.
In the innie outie.
Size-wise, compared to an acre. And Jesus, take the wheel. How about comments?
Rude.
Rune.
You're saying rude?
In Rune. What? What?
What? Yeah. Quoi? Por qué?
Oh.
Sí. On the proper time.
On the proper time.
Respect my authority.
Respect my proper time.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
No thanks. No thank you.
Crack your laugh with that.
Crack your laugh. the proper tie.
Proper time.